Hi, my name is Dianne Mathes. I'm the Executive Director of the Adoption Council of Ontario. The Adoption Council of Ontario is an organization which supports children and their adopted families and original families and youth and adults in their adoption and permanency journeys. We strive to listen to the voices and the experience of all these individuals within adoption and permanency. We know that this is a different journey and that it can be a difficult journey for those who are walking it. We know that sometimes it has been silenced and it has not been heard and acknowledged in the way that it is needed to be. The first experience for a child that is adopted can occur when they're just a baby. They are just born and they are losing the very most important person in their life, their birth mother, whom they have lived inside of for the last 9 months. And with that, they lose all of the connection with that birth mother's family. And that experience shapes them. It is a trauma at birth that will impact and shape their lives and throws them into some disorientation and chaos. They then have to navigate the world from their experience of what that is like. As a result, their sense of themselves, their understanding of themselves and who they are, their connections and relationships with other people, and their understanding of the world is just different. The lens of how they see and experience is different. And as a result, some of how they behave, some of how they cope, some of how they are, is going to be intense and at times maybe unpredictable. This is where we as professionals may come in contact with them. And of course, as professionals, our desire is to help them, to support them, to help them sort out the issues. But if we don't understand what that lens means in terms of how they think, how they feel, how they experience, then we can inadvertently intervene in ways that are not necessarily helpful or may not address what the real issues are. Sometimes we forget to even ask about what adoption and permanency journeys really mean. We sometimes expect children to be involved in forms of therapy, forms of counseling that involve their cognitive and thinking abilities. And yet, if your original experience coming into the world is one of abandonment and loss, you may carry such a sense of aloneness and have experiences so rooted in your sensory being that you aren't capable of processing at a cognitive level. And until some of those very core and early experiences are taken care of, you're not going to be able to really use your mind and your thinking and your problem solving in the way that other children with different beginnings might be able to. Grief for children with these kind of backgrounds is going to be different. It's very difficult to grieve something that is intangible, that you may not know, that feels more like a void, that doesn't necessarily even have any concrete thoughts or pictures attached to it. It sometimes is just too deep and too intense to even know how to connect with. Children who have been through numerous homes, as well as this beginning, often have forms of grief and internal experiences that leave it very difficult for them to even contemplate how to connect with people or manage in the world. Identity is not always a straight line for a child who is on a permanency journey. Identity is often so intermingled with fear of further loss, fear of being rejected, fear of being lost and alone. And so we have to help parents be part of the process, be involved in the process. It isn't about having a child in the therapy or the counseling room or working just with the child. We have to have parents involved who are willing to connect with themselves and look at their experiences and their attachments so they know how to be that secure person for those children. All of these factors combine for children in how they see the world, how they experience themselves, how they connect or don't connect with other people. And they are unique and different and have to be addressed, and often early care and soothing and infant experiences have to be repaired before we can even think about helping them resolve other forms of trauma. That's where the ACO comes in. The ACO is an organization that has training programs and education programs. Our main one for professionals is the ACT program, which comes out of the Kinship Center of California and gives us an opportunity to work with professionals on understanding what that lens really means, how that lens works for individuals in all the different areas of adoption and permanency. Children who have been placed for adoption, older children who have been in foster care and are now in adoption, or young adults who are looking for permanency. It helps professionals understand not just the theories, not just the approaches, but how to actually put them into practice and make them come alive in the room and towards the repair and benefit of some of these issues for children. Get in touch with us at the Adoption Council of Ontario, and we'll come and talk to you about the needs that your agency and your workers and your particular area needs, be it child welfare, education, counseling. We're there to help you with the ACT program.